Stinkies, you're getting extra reaction videos this week because Spectrum is just completely my internet, and it's to the point where I don't know if I'm gonna have to do a lawsuit. Bad. Yeah, I basically have almost no internet right now, so I can't even stream, which really sucks. It's so bad, my upload speeds are so bad right now that I may as well not have internet bad. We hit a new peak or a new low today, so that's fun. That's really fun. So we're gonna do a little advice column today. And I was just curious, you know, I feel like we all have different advice on some of this stuff, but it's the topic for today is, if you could give one major life advice to others, what would it be? Anyways, I'm trying to think of like one major life advice. Ooh, fuck, there's so much I could give you guys. It's kind of going to be long-winded, but I'm going to try my best to phrase it. I got bullied growing up. I got bullied in school. That and then being in an unhealthy relationship really prevented me from like enjoying my own like personality and time. And so I think the best way that I can word this is, I think unapologetically live to be yourself and don't live to please others. And I want to say that doesn't mean be an asshole, because so many people take that as, oh, I'm going to be a dick to everybody, stuff like this. It's more so like, I'll give you an example of how I live now. My tattoos. This is something I've wanted for absolutely forever. I got it. I feel so much happier in my own skin, as silly as that sounds. There's so many people that are going to judge me for getting tattoos. I've literally had so many nasty comments about, oh, you're so ugly now that you got tattoos and shit like that. And it's like, I'm now at 25. I'm very glad I figured this out as early as I have. I've talked to family members and they did not figure it out until they were older. And they're like, I wish I had figured that out earlier. You stop caring what people think you look like, or what you want to do, what you're interested in. If you enjoy being a nerd, be a fucking nerd. I wish I would have just said fuck it and not tried to hold up my personality from all that stuff. That's my one major life advice. There's a bunch of other things that I could give, and I know there's going to be really good advice on here. I'm sure. That's mine. I didn't want to get biased after I read them, so hopefully I worded that okay. Unapologetically live as yourself, but don't be an asshole. Be kind to others, that sort of thing. Yeah. What is the most upvoted one we have so far from Silverwolf here? When you get to college right out of high school, don't take the 8 a.m. classes. Your thought process is, I did this for years. It'll be easy. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You're going to regret it so much. That's so fucking true. It's so damn true that it hurts. I went through the same thing. And it's like, yeah, I had to pay for my college, but like, and I had a scholarship, thankfully, that helped me out a little bit. But it's so different when you're in high school, because like, you are forced by your parents. They'll take you even if you're tired as hell, driving and commuting to campus or wherever the hell you're going to, if you're trying to make it cheaper for yourself, especially to not live on campus, right? If you don't have to. I was like, I'll do it. I'll take the 7 or the 8 a.m. class. I'll be fine. Dude, it was painful for me. I should not have been driving. There were so many times in the morning where I didn't remember reaching how I got to my destination. Like, that's scary. That is not safe for anybody on the road. And I regret that I did that. Yes, don't do it. You're gonna regret it. When you have to drive yourself and take yourself, you're gonna feel like shit. Daniel said, as a morning person, it's much the opposite for me. Afternoon classes were hell to stay awake, but 7 a.m. were golden. God, home. You are so lucky. You're the only person I've ever met that said that. Do or do not. There is no try, especially when it's your mom. Because I will always do your mom. Can I give? No, I don't want to mod flag it. Can I give this comment like I don't know how Reddit medals go, but we'll edit in a little medal for you. You get, I don't know, you can have a sip of my V8. Who the fuck wants a sip of my V8? Why is that what I'm fucking picked up? Barnaby says, stop trying to feel happy. Self-help culture tricks you into thinking happiness is around the corner, but humans evolved to survive, not to be happy. If you're going through a tough time or don't feel joy at every moment, that's normal. You're human. Take advantage of that happiness when it comes naturally. Yes! Yes! Yes, 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 yes. I see so many people that are like manifest that it, like that's a really big thing I see going on. Yeah, I feel like the manifesting thing, it's like use this TikTok sound, or they're like burning incest. I'm gonna manifest. We saw it in the other video. I'm gonna manifest a text. It's also why New Year's Eve resolutions kind of annoy me. If it works for you genuinely doing New Year's resolutions, I'm all for it. But so many people, that's what I think the New Year's resolutions is. If you genuinely want to do something and change it, you have to kick your ass in gear and do it. You are not going to, unless you're extremely fortunate, you're not going to be freaking handed things in life. You have to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and you have to figure it the fuck out. I had to make my bed with that, and it helped a lot. I had to like grieve so fucking hard over myself, over people, and it got to a point where I really, really was starting to get super depressed again. Like I was like, okay, either I can sit here and it's over, and this is how I'm gonna be, or I have to get over this and I have to figure out a way to move on, because no one's gonna do that for me. Like what I had to do was, I'll give you an example. When Dean passed away, right? I quit YouTube for like 3-4 weeks, something like that. I drank myself every fucking night, crying nonstop. The only thing that was keeping me from doing shit was Shiva, or doing things with Shiva. Cause I was like, I can't leave her. Like she was still a puppy and stuff. There's so much she couldn't do on her own. There's just so much, dude, where I do really recommend therapy and I do really recommend shit, but there's so much culture where it's like manifest it, hope, and I do agree you should hope and shit. And I really recommend, like, I know that sounds so silly, but the unapologetically living yourself. And then also, like Barnaby said, self-help culture is definitely, I don't think it fully tricks you, but there is a part of it where people are like, wallow, but it'll get better for you. Like grieve, but also know when you need to pick yourself up. You know, you have to, no one is going to be there better for you than yourself. And you have to start treating yourself like you're your best friend, as hard as it is to do. Start saving your money whenever you start working. If you can. Some people can, but yeah, if you can. Life is full of unexpected surprises. We are in the easiest period of history to invest into the market, and for free with some brokerages. I don't disagree with that. Not everyone is fortunate enough to spend big money on huge companies, but since fractional shares became a thing, almost anyone can own about any company out there. It can be hard, but if you keep adding to it, you should end up in a better situation than most people out there. That's true. Also, when you're younger too, I know regulations and stuff have been changing over like Roth IRAs and all that stuff. One of the first investments I did was, I knew a lot about tech companies. And so I was like, okay, well, it was before the 30 series came out. And it was also before Sony dropped the PlayStation 5 and like all these new games and stuff. And so I got to see some money go up from that, just because I knew what I was investing in, just a little bit, right? You can do that. You can write it out. I also really recommend investing in some things. What I did, you don't have to do it, but like, I know some people are like risk takers. You can do some less risk taking stuff. You can spread your portfolio out. You can put it into oil companies. You can put it into electric companies. There's also like clusters that you can look into. And again, I really recommend going to a financial advisor or a brokerage firm and like figuring that out, or researching on your own, right? My experience, not me telling you to do that, but there are options for other stuff that, again, if you know things, you can do that. But yeah, I do think a lot of people underestimate saving. I'm so with you on that. Never pick a side before you didn't listen to all sides of a story, and never judge so early because you never know what truly happened. I agree with this. So yes, you guys are all giving really good advice. That's so damn true. So many people jump to conclusions immediately, and so many people are right on top of everything to just kind of dogpile, especially when they don't know what happened. I'll give you an example. This is just one of my most notable moments for my thing that I dealt with that happens online. Okay. I made a video back in the day. There was 4 or 5 guys that were copying me and deliberately going out of their way to shit talk me in their comment section and stuff. And they were copying my editing style. So I released a video, and I didn't call them out specifically because I did not want to give them attention. Well, a lot of those same guys, rather than watching the full video, were immediately offended. I was like, just give credit where it's due. You don't have to and I was just talking about because they were ripping like my ass open. When it was, they didn't start they literally ripped it and did it weeks after months after I had started doing it. And I was like, there's no reason to do that. I was like, there's no reason to like do all this shit. Anyways. And those guys were so offended and pissed, and so many people dogpiled on me because they didn't watch the video and they just listened to what those guys said in the comments, which was not at all related to the video. We're like, oh, screw you, anyone can use this format, blah blah blah. I was like, I never said no one could. Yeah, it's so common, especially in the tech industry, where guys will see a woman do something and then they will yoink the credit from it. And esports org actually tried to do it too, but everyone was ripping me up and they're like, I thought you were different, blah 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 blah, I don't respect you anymore. And I'm like, dude, you didn't even watch the video. You're just reading the TikTok comments immediately. And of course it's those 4 or 5 guys that have been doing it that I didn't want to drag attention to, and you're just listening to them. That is a prime example. That is one of my biggest annoyances to date of shit that's happened. Arctic Fex says, no matter the problems, always reach out to someone. Nobody has to suffer in silence. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So many more people are there for you than you realize. I always tell my friends, I'm like, you can call me. You can call me at any point of the day if you need it. My sister, I'm like, call me, even if it's in the middle of stream. It's like, I can tell, like, if she's gonna FaceTime me, obviously it's a little bit different, right? But if she gives me a regular phone call, I'm dropping shit every time. If others aren't treating you with the same respect you give them, you don't need them in your life, and cutting them off is valid. Value relationships where you feel the same value in return above others. Also, do crime be gay? God damn it. But yes, no, I agree, Josh. If someone's being an asshole to you all the time and they've got like group texts without you purposefully because like they just don't want you in there, and they've listened to rumors and like all that shit, fuck them. You don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. Normal adults and healthy relationships don't have that. Thankfully, I have genuine friendships now compared to like when I was younger and stuff. Genuine people don't do that. Pull that shit, man. Might be breaking the prompt, but I have 3 rules for life that cover everything. I like this. That's okay. This works. You can do this. I like it. Also, your cute little Reddit hat. 1, get consent where needed, even if the consent is implied. Yes, you should always, doesn't matter what it is, if you want to buy someone a drink or something like that, ask them first. And again, obviously, sexual shit. Always, 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 always. Yes. 2, bring no harm physically, mentally, or emotionally. It's hard for people to do, especially in today's day and age. If you're a parent, please, I hope you listen to this. Don't raise your kids to be an iPad kid. Very different. You're sitting there, you're watching together, stuff like that. There are so many worse creators out there or things like that. And even if they're not watching those creators, they're trying to develop their emotional regularity around the internet. And that's not healthy. I'll tell you exactly, it's a prime example of what happens all the time. I'll have people that are like between 8 and especially 16, 17-year-olds. And what they do almost always is they literally have a really horrible day. Family, school, life, whatever it is. And they're emotional to regulate that and take out that frustration because they don't know how to talk to people and they don't know how to seek help for anything that's going on in their life, shit like that. They go online and they just be vile. They be vile to anyone and everyone they can. That's not good for everybody. It ain't fair to me. It ain't fair to anybody else online because like their parents haven't taught them how to emotionally regulate themselves. Tech is great in moderation. 3, don't hinder someone's way of life if they follow the first 2 rules. Yes. The last one covers stuff like protests on the road that stops people from getting to work. Yep. If someone says they love you, but then hurts you anyways, they don't love you. It isn't your fault and it won't get better. Know when to love yourself more. Yes, it is someone, there can be unintentional hurting, right? And learning. But there's a lot of people that are emotionally abusive in this world. And yes, saying it after, like the main times that they get you things or when they say they love you, shit like that, if it's always after they have been nasty to you, it is not genuine. Don't take the little things for granted. You may not realize how much they mean to you until it's too late. Yep. It also is something you should mentally think about when you treat others. More people are likely to go out of their way and say negative things to others than they are to go out and be positive. I try to always, if I can, I always try to compliment people. Yo, cool shirt, 6 shoes, nice nails, something like that. Like a compliment goes a long way. It changes someone's day. Oh my God. It's the little things. It is the little things. It's the tiniest bit of compassion shown to others makes such a big difference. So even outside of just yourself, when you start doing that, you start to realize it a lot more towards yourself and you start feeling better, stuff like that. So I really think karma, good and bad, snowballing and stuff is, I really think that's a thing. Ooh, this is another one, another piece of advice too, which on that, what your parents tell you, if your parents tell you, I should say, mine did when I was young. I didn't listen to it always, unfortunately, but you notice it when you get older. You're the summation of the 7 closest people that you keep close to you. If you keep yourself surrounded by people that have 0 drive, people that tend to treat others poorly, or people that are, you know, wallowing in self-pity for themselves all the time, you will become that. I'll give you the workplace example. If you sit people around no one that has no drive, that whole group within that pod or quadrant at work ends up not, they do the bare minimum almost always. They don't like work, all that stuff. If you add one person that is positive to that group, and that it tends to be a high drive person, it changes the entire group's dynamic. They end up enjoying work more. They feel like they can actually like be there and are in a more positive mood. They get less depressed in and outside of work. It's so crazy how much that makes a difference. So anyways, if you ever need some self-reflection and you're like, I feel like shit, sometimes that can be a factor and you don't realize it. You don't have to go to college because your friends are going. It's okay to not go. Not everyone enjoys or wants to pursue higher education. It's not a negative thing to not go to college. Yes, and so many people are not taught that trade schools exist. If you're a very hands-on person, whether it be coding, whether it be, you know, welding, wood shop, the auto industry, you can, you know, I guess wood shop would have been carpentry. If you're interested in any of that, you don't have to go to college for that. If you know you enjoy it in high school and that's just what you excel at, and you're just not a studious person, go invest your time there. I really, really recommend looking at trade school. It is not taught enough at all. I know there's also courses that Google offers for like some of the coding and shit. I know a lot of places, I talked about this because if you don't know, I was going into the computer science industry before streaming. So many companies will hire you out if you've got an associate's or you've got so many of these self-taught languages. If you genuinely test out of them, will always fall out. Oh, after all the serious ones, I was just not expecting that. But yeah, no, yep. Take a theater class seriously. Playing various characters means you'll have more personalities than a bag of assorted chocolates. 2, you'll become so good at nonverbal cues, you'll basically be a living, breathing emoji. 3, if you've ever survived a theater production, group projects will feel like a walk in a park. 4, life got you down, pretend to be a pirate for a few hours and you'll forget all about those bills, because pretending to be someone else for a while is way cheaper than therapy sometimes. For real though, it'll develop your self-expression, confidence, communication, teamwork, all that jazz, and eventually things like job interviews or presentations will seem like a piece of cake. I really wish I would have done, I talked about it. I've done, I was one of the set designers for our school's theater. I wish I would have just pulled the trigger on it instead of listening to others. I wish I would have just done it. I think I would have really enjoyed it. Not that I didn't enjoy set design. I would have done that on top of it, but I really wish I would have done theater earlier and like actually gotten involved in the theater aspect of things, because it looked like a lot of fun. I saw a lot of good relationships develop. Stuff like that. Despite drama, I really recommend it. That, or just clubs in general, whether you're in college or whether you're in high school, middle school, whatever. Or if you're older and you're just like need something to do, look into groups, joining groups. I know people, I don't use freaking Facebook, but getting involved in your community. I know that a lot of Facebook groups do that. Get involved with that. Or even with, why is this word eluding my head? Charity work. Like, it will change your frame of mind. It'll get you out to be more social, involved in your community. Like, you'll feel so much less lonely, develop really good social skills. I really recommend it. It's also good. It's also just good for everyone. Ooh, I like this one. Don't compare yourself to social media so hard. People want you to see what they want you to see. The best way I can say it is don't compare your behind the scenes to someone's highlight reel. What you go through is different than them. Plus, what they put out may not necessarily be truly what is happening in the personal. I see so much body dysmorphia. I mean, it's even like ways that I've developed body dysmorphia that I didn't think that I shouldn't have had, period. People saying, whether it be rumors that you hear or people putting ridiculous standards in front of you. I'll say one of them, right? For the longest time, the Kardashian standard. And so many of them now in 2023 are coming out and admitting, little by little, that they have had plastic surgery to some extent. And meanwhile, growing up, they always said it was natural. But they were the standard for every guy, every girl, and then you saw everyone getting BBLs, you saw people getting boob jobs, and now like so many people regretting it because it was so toxic, or same with Botox, and then it's shifting and they don't know it's going to be shifting, and that it creates so much body dysmorphia. A lot of those people Photoshop, and it all can be about lighting, it can be about angles, and everyone goes through shit. Here's an example of myself. I don't post my negative stuff when I'm going through some sad shit. I try it because I'm to be fair though, my intention is to distract you from whatever might be making you feel like shit, and hopefully you end up feeling better, right? That's kind of my intent with content, outside of trying to be a good role model, especially as a woman in the gaming industry. You know, I have I promise you I'm not happy all the time. I get upset, I get really mad, I go through it. I'll cry some nights, I'll sit in my bed sometimes all day because I'm really feeling like ass. So like, there's that, but I post the happy stuff, but like, keep that in mind. I'm not happy all the time just because you see me happy all the time. Hopefully that gives you a little window. But yes, there's that. Yes. We've gone through like 40 minutes of stuff here, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. There's so much other stuff. Thank you guys that submitted under the Reddit thread. I know so many people are like anti-Reddit, or they don't want to join Reddit, or like want to stick with Discord and stuff, or Twitter. Here's my thing. I do really recommend joining the subreddit if you haven't already. You guys can post like fun fan stuff in there, communicate with one another. Obviously there's also Discord too. But it's so much easier for me to read and go through things with the upvote system that exists on Reddit. It's just a lot easier to read. So especially going through videos like this. Thank you for those of you. There were, oh God, what, 85? 82. Of course, I thought it was 85 when it was a 2. All the time. That's why math fucked me over so bad. I used to be really, really good at math. That's a discussion for another day. Dyslexia. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I hope this helps you, the life advice that myself and others can give and we've discussed today. Hopefully it'll make it a little bit easier, another insight if you maybe haven't thought about some of those things. But feel free to, if you've got more advice that you feel like didn't, make it to this video, feel free to comment it down below. Someone else might totally agree with you or find it useful. Also, definitely would love to see what life advice in this video was the most helpful to you, or that you agreed with the most, in your experiences and stuff like that. So I do read the comments. I know I don't always respond to things, but I do always read all of your comments. So I try my best to. There's very minimal time where I don't look at things. So I do appreciate, reading stuff like that. So, but yeah, I know it doesn't look like it, but I do read. I do read them. But yeah, anyways, I appreciate you, Stinkies, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.